When I think of the Mr. Coffee machine, I think about permission, not precision. It's not even close to having precision whatsoever. The water is inconsistent. The shower head is something to probably cringe about. And, you know, it just does what it does. But it allows me the permission to take my hands off the wheel, to not be in control. Total opposite of a manual pour over machine, specialty coffee, recipes, refractometers, all the stuff that we do. It gives me that permission to do whatever the hell I want to, not measure anything. Just push the button, see what comes out, drink your cup of coffee, and move on with your day. That's the liberating part about the Mr. Coffee machine. Somebody asked me a couple of weeks ago as I was showing my coffee bar, it's like, do you actually use the Mr. Coffee machine? And when he said that, I started to think, because it does look pretty odd, as you see if you're watching this on my coffee bar. I have 2 kettles, I have 2 grinders, I have other hand grinders off to the side. I got a refractometer, I got a couple of boosters, 4 or 5 different types of papers. There's things underneath the cubby too that I use from time to time. I got it pretty dialed in. And just looking at the machine, if you're really looking, it does look kind of odd. Like, what am I doing with that? Well, for one, that's mostly my wife's machine. I did get a Moccamaster for myself, but I got it also with the intent of her actually using it. She said she didn't want any bit of it, nothing at all with that particular coffee maker, which is perfectly fine. But, as I sit here and just think about why I actually have the Mr. Coffee machine and what it means that there's little to anything of expectations from it. For instance, just yesterday, I went ahead and made a cup of coffee from it. The only thing I did that somebody wouldn't probably do with the Mr. Coffee machine is that I went a little bit finer than what you're supposed to. I've talked about it before. Put a couple scoops in there, enough water for myself and my wife, and I pushed the button. I did add a paper filter to it too. And I just waited impatiently, actually. The brew took a lot longer than what I thought. And it just did its own thing. It didn't care about me. Oh yeah, that's right. I put tap water in there too, which, I'm sure that's what people do with the Mr. Coffee machine or any type of automatic drip machine. And as the cups were finished, turned off the machine, poured me a decent sized cup of coffee, did the same thing for my wife. Hers, I added creamer to it. Sweet cream, if you know, you know. And we're watching our TV show. And I took my first sip. Wasn't bad at all. I'm not just saying that. It was really good. It had taste. It had flavor. I can taste the fruity notes of it. And it was good to me. Didn't really measure anything out. I treated it as everybody else would, whoever has a Mr. Coffee machine or something similar. I didn't go down this whole specialty rabbit hole of trying to understand this machine or to make it more of my own by measuring every little thing out of it. I used to when I started to use it more. But then as the days and the weeks and even a year or so went by, just stopped caring about that stuff. It didn't really make it that much better. And sometimes I think about that. We have scales, measure everything out. I already know what a 1 to 15 ratio is. I know what that's going to really do for me. I know if I tweak this and tweak that, lower down the temperature, that brings out different things. I already know that. It's a lot of fun. But something about this automatic drip machine that strips me for who I am in this coffee world is very liberating. It's like it can do a good job on its own. With a couple of tweaks, it works out pretty well. So it's interesting, when I think about it and actually use it, I'm really happy with the way it does its things. Like I said before, the temperatures are all over the place. 170, 185, 200, back to 180. I tried to, put hot water in it to keep the water more consistent. That did help. But again, just like the mocha pot or Moccamaster, I don't want to fiddle with it. It's an automatic drip machine for a reason. It's one of those things to where there's a lot of things in life that we just take control over, that we just need to do the things that we have to do in order to feel alive, right? You kind of get that with the Mr. Coffee machine. You really do. Because for the most part, after you put whatever you do in the coffee machine, you're just waiting. And you're just hoping that whatever it comes out, whatever it produces, is actually tasty. And I would say 7 out of 10, it is. That's the liberating part about all of this. It really is, and it's one of those things to where I just kind of just think about why I'm doing all this stuff. Why does it matter? And I think the Mr. Coffee machine gives me that reminder of like, just hold back, Oki. What you're doing with coffee is cool. It's actually quite impressive that you figure it out or you're trying to figure out things. And as you do that, it's just going on a journey, right? But that Mr. Coffee machine, the way it is, the way it operates, the way it makes me feel from time to time, either happy or sad or mad because it worked or didn't work. That's the liberating part about all of this. That's the thing that nobody really talks about when they're talking about coffee in general. Have to get it right. We have no choice but to get it right when we measure down to the 10th of a gram. When we know that sometimes that kettle, if it's too low of water, that water is going to be a lot cooler than what we used to drink. And we know how that's going to affect the taste of the beans, the extraction and all that stuff. We know that. We can geek out. We know that if we use a 6 on the K Ultra, for the most part, it's going to work out really well for the coffees that we're using. Maybe go a little bit finer if it's a lightly roasted coffee. We know those intricate details. We spend 3 to 2 weeks of actually brewing that cup of coffee, the bag that we get from that roaster. Sometimes we let it rest from 3 to 4 weeks or even longer. We're doing that because we know that that's going to be like the peak time to actually enjoy that coffee. We're looking for that perfect cup of coffee. We're chasing that, that rainbow. And we get it. We get it a lot of times. Sometimes we get frustrated. But the Mr. Coffee machine just gets the fuck out the way. Does not care. Does not care about you. Doesn't care about me. It just brews a cup of coffee and that's it. So yeah, it looks weird looking at it right now on the coffee bar with the Olympia Cremina, the Moccamaster, the two kettles, the two grinders, and it's right there, smack in the middle, close to being smack in the middle. I understand why people will look at the coffee bar and wonder why it's there. At first, I left it there because it allows me to test the coffee to see what it's all about, see how other people are really drinking their coffee with the coffee that I have. It was like that at first. But then after a while, it started to become a distant memory, something that I didn't really think about. But then from time to time, when I had that time to actually sit there and accidentally just make a cup of coffee from the Mr. Coffee machine, I was happy. I was shocked. And then I realized is that even though there's not that much precision involved, I have to go back with the whole thing of my knowledge, the things that I do have with specialty coffee or coffee in general, is that I spent a long time with the Mr. Coffee machine. I tweaked it, I played around with it, I tried to manipulate it, I tried to make it more than what it was. But then when I started to realize is that that's the machine that it is, that no matter what I do to it, it's going to be doing the thing that it needs to do. And when I stopped fighting that, it started to talk to me. I know how that sounds kind of crazy, but truthfully, that's really what it's done. It's allowed me to be who I am, to respect the machine for what it is, to take the faults that it has, but for the most part, still let it do its thing. And like I said, just that finer grind, the knowledge that I do have, realizing that there's no bloom, trying to go with the flow of the inconsistent temperature swings, still make a great cup. I think that's the liberating part about all of this. And it's pretty cool. So that's why I have the Mr. Coffee machine on my mantle back there. It's kind of like a token. It's a reminder. But it also lets me know that it's okay to let go, let loose, let it be what it is. Because 6, 7, 8 times out of 10, the coffee's going to work. And if it doesn't, at least you got a chance to just drink some coffee. Let me know what you think. Do you have something up there in your arsenal of things that you have that you don't really use, or if you do use, and you're kind of embarrassed about talking about it, or you're not? Let's talk about it. Talk to you later. Bye.